I think something that we're doing right now is really being careful about who we partner with and spending the time that's necessary to get to know the operators that we partner with, understand their track record, go through a vetting process that we feel comfortable with and confident in, and then ultimately, providing the opportunity for our investor networks to participate in those deals. So I think that's something that we're doing very well as continuing to build up our investor network.
Welcome to the How to Scale Commercial Real Estate Show. Whether you are an active or passive investor, we'll teach you how to scale your real estate investing business into something big.
David Robinson is CEO and founder of Canovo Capital, LLC, which is a boutique real estate investment firm. He's an active investor and also a podcast host. As a broker and an investor, David has been directly involved in over $250 million in real estate transactions. David, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much, Sam. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, man, the pleasure's mine. 3 questions I ask every guest who comes on the show in 90 seconds or less. Can you tell me, where did you start? Where are you now? And how did you get there?
Oh, man. Where did I start? I started out, dropped out of college, got fired from my dad's engineering firm, and got a real estate license at 23 years old and immediately started selling real estate. So that's how I got started. Where am I at today? I have a small boutique brokerage based out of Salt Lake City, Utah, and we serve buy and hold investors who are looking to acquire small-scale multifamily property for their own personal portfolios. So these are, by small scale, I'm referring to anything under roughly $5 million, all the way down to your typical duplex, fourplex product. So we help investors that are just building up their own small portfolio. And in addition, we also have our syndication business, which is Canovo Capital, where we focus on acquiring large-scale commercial multifamily assets, structuring those as syndications, and then allowing members of our investor network to participate alongside us in those opportunities.
What happened between getting fired and getting your real estate license? There had to have been an aha moment when you said, hey, wait, I'm onto something, and I think I can do something with that. When was that?
Well, it actually started a little bit earlier than when I got fired from my dad's engineering firm, but I had served a church service mission, and one of the mentors in that mission was a very successful real estate broker in his own right. And, in my meetings with him, he said, you should really, when you get back home, you should really look into getting into real estate. Outside of that, I knew no one in real estate. I knew nothing about real estate. I liked the idea, of being involved in real estate. And so that's really what sort of spurred it. And I got my real estate license in Phoenix, Arizona, literally right after I had been licensed. I never sold a piece of real estate in Arizona. I actually had an opportunity, made a connection with a broker that was up here in Utah through a family member who was looking to build his own small brokerage and was looking for young, hungry guys to bring on and help build a brokerage. And so I said, well, I just got my license here in Arizona. How hard could it be to get it in Utah? So I ended up, loading everything I owned into a small little Honda Accord and living in the basement of a buddy's apartment or house for a few weeks while I got my feet set, and immediately just worked on getting my license here in Utah and immediately started selling real estate. And with a heavy focus on foreclosure prevention and short sales, which this is, 2004. And so I really cut my teeth in the short sale and foreclosure world up to the Great Recession. And so my business started booming as the market took a dive. And so I built, a big short sale and foreclosure prevention business here in Utah, and ran that for, a good 5 years while the market was trying to recover. And I realized that the market was recovering, and oh my goodness, my business is going away.
Right.
Because I was so focused on that. So ultimately pivoted from that into traditional residential sales, built up a sales team, and ultimately managed a national franchise brokerage, built a sales team, and ultimately pivoted to investment property about 4 or 5 years ago.
What about the 5 million and under investment property prevents you? Because one of the things, there's two things we need in this business, money and deals. And so you guys have found a way to source deals. I mean, brokers are known, that's what they do. They source opportunity. So what prevents you guys from taking those deals down yourself, sourcing your own deals, and then why not focus on that as opposed to then just going for the bigger multifamily projects?
Yeah, it's been an evolution of a business model. We actually started to, spend some time in that space and acquired, some small multi as we started to focus in that space. And so I wouldn't say that we haven't done it in the past, although we have adjusted our model and are very clear about what we do today. And there's a couple of reasons why. The first reason why is mainly because we don't want to overlap, and we want to respect the relationship we have with our clients who are looking to buy that product type. And so today, unless we were partnering with one of our clients, I don't believe that we would buy anything under $5 million. And we just try to keep those two businesses separate so that there's really no conflict of interest and we can fully represent the client.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I guess, let me ask this a different way. I from an outsider's perspective, I would see, hey, look, there's opportunity, there's meat on the bone. There's far more meat on the bone on a $5 million deal than maybe even what a brokerage commission would be, right? I mean, you guys get paid once, the deal's over, it's great. But there's got to be some strategic reasons why you haven't just said, hey, bag it with all the buyers. We're going to go out and buy everything ourselves that we source. Why not take that approach?
The main reason is because it allows us to build up a pretty significant database of investors that then are interested in not only buying small multifamily for their own personal portfolio, but also investing passively in our syndication deals. And so we're able to have the benefits of both. Really have a business where it's a cash flow positive business that provides a very valuable service to local investors that allows us to build a very large database. And I believe that I have the largest database, a curated database of small multifamily investors in the state of Utah. Well, a lot of those investors realize I actually don't want to own that fourplex.
Right.
I would much rather invest passively with you in the next $40, $50 million deal.
Right.
And so we don't care what the client wants to do, because there's going to be people that absolutely only want to own their own stuff. They have zero interest in investing passively with us. Right. But by doing both businesses, it allows us to really attract who we're trying to attract, which is individuals that are generally investor-minded, like multifamily, and want to use multifamily as a vehicle to build wealth and cash flow.
Right, man, that's brilliant. I love that answer. That's not the one I would have thought through or thought about, but that makes a heck of a lot of sense. I mean, I know there's people out there that their dream is to be the active investor. I will tell you, a decade from now, my dream is not to be the active investor. I want to be only on the LP side. And there's reasons for that. I had that call yesterday with somebody like, hey, I'm sitting on a pile of money. And they're like, the last thing I want to do is 1031 this into another property I own. So yeah, I'd love to find a way to 1031 it into your next syndication. Yes, of course. That's where we all absolutely want to go. Tell me about raising money. I mean, you just really started doing syndications, 8 months ago?
That's right. Yeah, we're just about to close on our fourth deal. This will be close to. And again, I partner with experienced operators in the local market that we're investing in. So our fourth deal coming up, and really from a raising equity standpoint, when we started to get into it, let me back up. I think it's important to maybe set some groundwork here, which is, when as we were building up our investors and working with our local investors to help them buy small multi, there's a lot of great reasons to be investing in Utah right now, but cash flow is not necessarily one of those.
Right.
And so I kept having the conversation over and over again from members of my investor network that would say, hey, look, David, thanks for sending me that, sixplex, that eightplex, that fourplex, that duplex. But the cash on cash return is not what I would like to see. And I say, well, great. You just can't invest in Utah. That's fine. Generally speaking, of course, there's some caveats to that. But so the conversation, so I had so many of those conversations about 18 months, 2 years ago that I started to say, okay, I've got to start exploring alternative options to help my investors achieve what they want to achieve.
Right. And
that's when we started to explore the syndication model and ultimately started to prep our investors for this concept of investing outside of Utah in deals that provided them a better blend of both cash flow and appreciation. And so from a raising capital perspective, we had this sort of network of investors built up already, but had to go through a fairly lengthy process of educating our investors on this concept of syndication, why we're even interested in doing it, the benefits to it, the drawbacks to doing it, and then help them to understand our process for going out and finding deals, vetting sponsors, and helping them to participate in these deals.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. What so you're going out, you're participating, you're a general partner on these deals. What have been some things you feel like you've done right out of the gate that have helped you scale into larger multifamily?
Well, we started the podcast, a few years ago. Definitely haven't done 600, 700 plus episodes like you, but we're 200 plus in or something like that. Awesome. And so as it gives me an opportunity to network with really quality people. And just people that I want to do business with, right? Not because there's a deal thrown at me and it's thrown into my inbox and I want to attach myself to it, but because I see something in that operator that causes me to want to do business with them. And so I think something that we're doing right now is really being careful about who we partner with, and spending the time that's necessary to get to know the operators that we partner with, understand their track record, go through a vetting process that we feel comfortable with and confident in, and then ultimately, providing the opportunity for our investor networks to participate in those deals. So I think that's something that we're doing very well as continuing to build up our investor network.
What were some of the things that you did out of the gate? When you say the words careful on who you picked as a partner, what were some of the things that you said, hey, must have criteria? And then maybe give me an example of a time when an opportunity may have presented itself to partner and you just knew right away, this is not a good fit.
Yeah. So first and foremost, it's time, which is unfortunate because we all want to move quickly. And we want to build our businesses. And I feel that pressure on a daily basis. I have investors. I probably have more equity than I do good deals with good sponsors at this point.
Correct.
And so it's time, unfortunately, which is what I mean by that is I've just got to get to know these people. I need to be able to have enough time with them to understand who they are at their core and how they're going to react to tough situations. And are they going to do the right thing regardless of the circumstance? And so, although it's not perfect, but time is most important to that process. And so for me, it was, connecting with operators either mostly through my podcast, and finding people that I intentionally reached out to. I have many people that, as you know, many people that request to come on the podcast, but there's select individuals that I will reach out to and say, hey, I want you to come on the podcast. I want to get to know you. I want to understand your business. And then those are the people that I really foster those relationships with and build over time. So I think I got a little distracted there, but hopefully that answers your question.
The thing you picked out there initially was time. What are some of the things you feel like when you get that time that you look for? Like, okay, so now we've got this 3-month window where we're getting to know somebody.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely boxes that we check. Number one is we're looking for a sponsor that has a track record of success. And by track record of success, we mean at least 3 deals done and ideally 1,000 units under management. Now, both of those don't have to be, these criteria aren't, hey, if they don't match that, they're out. But ideally, we're looking for someone that has a track record of success, but they're on a growth trajectory. I didn't want to be doing deals with someone who already had, $500 million under management and was just really enjoying what they had built over the last 10 to 15 years. I wanted someone that was still hungry to do more deals because I knew my investors wanted to place their equity.
Right.
So that was number one, a track record of success. Number 2 was alignment of core values. And I believe the only way that you can find out if you're in alignment on core values is by getting to know somebody. At a very high level, that's a background check and checking over their social media profile. On a more granular level, it's meeting with them. It's going out to their office, wherever they're located, and getting to know them, eating some lunch with them, understanding who they are and how they function, how they communicate. So, the time factor and getting to know someone, there's the hard check boxes that we're looking for, and also the soft, do I even like this person? Would I want to be in business with them for the next 3 to 5 years?
Right.
Are they going to do what they say they're going to do based upon my experience?
Yeah. And that's, those are things that I think, all of that happens in the constraints of time, where it's like it takes that.
And it's frustrating, to be honest, because you just want to do deals, right? You want to get out there and you want to be active in doing deals, but at the same time, I think the best hedge against risk for me and my investors is working with a quality operator.
Oh, for sure. And I've said this, and you get on this space enough, and you'll hear this said over and over and over, that I'd much rather have the right operator in the wrong deal than the wrong operator in the right deal.
Yeah, great quote.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hey, so tell me, talk to us a little bit. We're going to come back to the sourcing deals side of things.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
You guys have figured out how to source smaller multifamily deals, things $5 million and under for your investors. Are you using those same principles to go out and source deals on the larger side?
So I don't source deals on the larger side. My operating partners are generally the ones that are in the local market that are sourcing deals that have the broker relationships there. But as it relates to, let's call it 5 million and below, right? Which there's plenty of investors out there that are looking for that product type, right? 5 million doesn't buy you a whole lot here in Utah, but it can in some of the Midwest markets. So
Memphis.
I actually have a few, I have the silver bullet, right? That no one's ever thought of to help me source my 5 million and below deals.
All right, let's hear it.
Direct mail. Everybody wants that silver bullet. They just want to figure out some unique way that they're going to be able to connect with owners and before anybody else is going to touch them. The reality is there's just a few proven ways to connect with and build a relationship with an owner. Direct mail being one of those. Direct phone. We've done a lot of that in the past where we'll skip trace data and find owners, and our team will reach out and call. And then, the third one for us is actually building up our buyer list of investors who actually own other real estate.
Right.
And then they want, they know we're in the market. They know what we do. They know that we're experts in this space. So when it comes time to them wanting to sell, they'll reach out and say, hey, David, I've got this, 10-plex, this 24-plex, whatever it might be. What do you think? We'd like to explore possibly working with you. So that's how we find our deals.
Right, man.
Direct mail, direct phone, and our existing investor network.
Right.
Magic
the buyers list is often overlooked, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's building the buyers list is a very, very efficient way, I would imagine, to buying or finding a seller's list. So
yeah. Absolutely.
You get to build them both at the same time. David, name something that you are currently curious about.
The fund of funds model. That's probably not very valuable to your listeners. Maybe it is. I don't know. But there in the world of syndications, I think it's evolving as we speak. Right. I know that it's become more popularized and people are becoming more familiar with it. More money is being attracted to syndications. And so I'm interested in learning about some of the nuances of structuring deals and really maintaining a high level of compliance with the rules and regulations that are out there, while also being creative and figuring out ways to best serve my clients.
Yep, absolutely great. And I know we've had plenty of guests on who've really gone deep into the fund to funds model. So, if you're curious and you're listening to this and you want to learn more about that, reach out to me. And I can't think of who they are right off the top of my head, but we'll be happy to point you back to several episodes where we really dissected that terminology down, really into the, like I said, dissected that terminology. Tell me something, David. What's a book you're reading right now?
Well, I'm reading a couple right now, one of which I'm rereading The One Thing. If you're from Gary Keller's author, and the concept is very simple, but rereading that to sort of refocus myself and my energy and some of the benefits of the one thing's very simple. It's all about, what's that one thing that's going to have the greatest impact on the end result, right? And trying to figure that out and honing down to it on not only a yearly, a monthly, but even on a granular level, like what's the one thing that I need to be doing right now that's going to make everything else easier or unnecessary, and then executing on that one thing.
Got it. Absolutely love it. David, if our listeners want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
You can go to canovocapital.com. That's CANOVO, canovocapital.com. You can reach out to me there, and also check out the podcast, The Apartment Investing Journey. The Apartment Investing Journey, anywhere you'd find your podcasts, you can check it out there.
David, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Sam. Bye-bye.